Good evening, friends, followers, and channel members. How are we? All ready for another Fenix stream, I hope. We've had world update number 9? Is it number 9? Had to think then. Yeah, it is, isn't it? World update number 9 today. So I thought, well, why not take our Fenix aircraft over mainland Italy and bring it in for a nice approach into Naples. Now I've just realised I'm doing this on live time, and obviously it's getting dark in Italy. But I know when I've asked this question in the past on the channel, so many people do prefer live time, regardless of how good the simulator looks. So hopefully, guys, you'll still appreciate some nighttime textures. We've got Mount Vesuvius as well. This actually adds a little bit more of an edge and a threat towards our arrival tonight, because there's a lot of terrain around Naples as we come in. So we're really going to have to make sure we plan properly for this, and well, I'm sure the Fenix can handle it. It's the pilot controlling the Felix that's got to think about things a little bit more. So yeah, it's hopefully going to be a nice approach. And we've got air traffic control as well currently online in Linate, which is where we are departing from. So good evening to all of you already in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and get things started. The operational flight plan, let me drop that into the chat for you guys. 1 second. There it is. So the operational flight plan has been pinned in the YouTube chat. So we only had the release of the NDA yesterday, and since then we already have a new version of the Fenix to fly. They have come and updated it. Remember, everything you're seeing here on the live streams, both here and from other streamers and things, they are just release candidates. They are not the final version. They're literally tweaking things all of the time. So what you're seeing here is not the final version. In fact, as I said a moment ago, this is actually a completely different version. Not completely different, but it's an improved version on the one we were streaming yesterday. So I'll go find a changelog for you in a little while once we're in the cruise and things. But a few sounds have just been modified, things like that. And I think there was also a little bit of a problem with the CBDLC sending duplicate messages. I think they've sorted that out as well. So I'm going to let you guys hear the sounds when we start the engines and things. And I thought this is actually a really good place to be able to do this, because we will start our engines on stand. There's no pushback here in Linate at this particular stand, so I can just enjoy those sounds with you without having to worry about trying to push back. So good evening to everyone. Hi Gandhi, good to see you. Who else have we got? Christian, Nick, how are you doing? Terry, Randall 42, 4022, sorry. Simon, DC Gert, Rico 87, Chris Shaw, Frank W. Abbott, and of course everybody else. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's jump in, shall we? So my aircraft is cold and dark. That's probably not too realistic for this time of day. It's probably just landed from somewhere, but we'll do a cold and dark setup for you. GPU is connected. In fact, let me just check what we've got. We've got the GPU, the cones are currently there, and our planned departure time is in 55 minutes. So hopefully we can get out on time. Right, let's get our aircraft turned on. Batteries look good, and as much as good evening HD, much as HD hates the dome lights, I'm going to turn them on because I can't see anything. There we go. I think these are a little dimmer than the fly-by-wire ones, so they perhaps don't defend HD quite so much. I'm going old school as well today. We've got some analog instruments, so we need to go through and set those up in a little while. Captain Martel FPS is very comparable to fly-by-wire, and remember, I'm flying on a 1660 GTX 1660, so I'm sure many of you have got far better GPUs than I've got, and I'm handling it pretty well. Right, let's just continue going through some flows. We've got the external ground power is set up. CRV test. That's the one. We've had the 3 clicks, so I can now do the fire test, get the nav logo lights on. And sticking with my EasyJet ops, I'll make sure the packs are off for a little bit. Refueling pumps off until we've chucked some fuel on board. There's the fire test. There we go. So, just getting a few ECAM warnings here. What's... ooh, look at that! Landing gear's not uplocked. Right, okay, well, fingers crossed. It should be in a moment. That wouldn't normally be able to happen, because what happens is once you've got the landing gear down and you've got weight on the wheels, then trying to move this is pretty much physically impossible. We'll look at clearing that, and that'll right itself, I'm sure. Autopilot 1 and 2, ignore the in-op systems. That's because obviously things are still setting up and aligning and things. There we go. Right, so just go ahead and just check all the flight deck, etc. We've got the overhead as it all should be. Just come down and check the pedestal. Shame the radio frequencies aren't remembered, but it's a very minor thing, that, isn't it? Squawking 2000. All's good there. Right, let's let the standby artificial horizon set that, and now let's get over here. We'll find out what the current QNH is. Have we got 80s here at the Nate? Let me have a quick look. We do. So we're going to go to 13637. Let's see if that's online. That frequency again, 136375.
QNH 1015 hectopascals. QFE 1003 hectopascals. Nozick. You have received status information, Whiskey. This is Linate status information, Whiskey at time 1850 Zulu. Type of approach ILS. Runway in use arrivals 36. Departures 36. Transition level 70. Wind touchdown variable 5 knots. Cav OK. Temperature 26 degrees, 2.12 degrees. QNH 1015 hectopascals. QFE 1003 hectopascals. Nozick. You have received status information, Whiskey.
Okay, so we've got our current QNH 1015. We've got information from Whiskey on board. So what was this that the HC wanted us to check? So use the scroll wheel to press a button but still look around. No, that's not working. I can just look around using the middle scroll wheel. Unless there's a keybind setting for that somewhere. If there is, I'm not sure what it would be called. We'll import our flight plan there. There we go. We've got 50 minutes to get set up and pushed back. Chewie, good evening. There's the METAR. We could, of course, have just got our METAR here, and we could have got our VATSIM 80s here, but it's a little bit more realistic, isn't it? Getting the actual the verbal 80s. We could also see what the weather's currently doing in Naples. Great visibility. No significant changes. Scattered 8,000 feet. Excellent. HT says you have to scroll the wheel button and not press it. I'm just trying to start the chrono with that, see if it works. No, scrolling the wheel just zooms in and out. Yeah, so still just zooms in and out. Sadly, nothing I can do with that. But if there is a way of doing that, that could come in quite handy occasionally, couldn't it? Richard, wow, Richard, thank you so much for your very kind super chat and saying satisfied passenger. I have not taken you anywhere yet, Richard, but honestly, thank you so much. That is an amazing donation. Very, very kind of you. Really, really do appreciate that. Hope you enjoy the flight with us this evening as well, and have been enjoying the Phoenix flights yesterday. If you managed to see any of those. Right, so. Let's crack on. I don't want to get shouted at. We've got 48 minutes till we push back. Weather's good. Our flight routing today. A quick look at the map. Yes, straight down mainland Italy. Our ground services are all prepared. We'll start getting boarded in a minute. What I'm going to do then is let's just have a listen to the APU sound. It has been tweaked ever so slightly, and I know you guys want to hear that. So I'm going to go ahead and now we've done the test, I'm going to just kill that music, and we'll head out back and have a listen. So 1, 2, 3. Get that started. Let me turn this up for you as well. Yeah, so even yesterday it sounded amazing. They've just tweaked it ever so slightly, so still sounding fantastic, isn't it? Just going through the chat. HD trying to think how to go forward with the load sheet. Suggest do all the perf calcs based on planned. Then when we get the final load sheet, insert 0408 CFG. Funnily enough, I was going to ask you when I get to that. In fact, I will ask you a little bit further when I get to that as well. And then if the load sheet is less than planned takeoff weight, we don't need to do any changes, so that's quite neat. Right, let me get the APU bleed on. I'll leave that for a minute, and then we'll start getting some of the passengers on board. For those of you that use self-loading cargo, I'm happy to say that it is still usable, so that's that's okay if you do like it. If not, doesn't matter. But currently there are no boarding sounds with the Phoenix, so that's perhaps something to come. What's the airport elevation? Well, not just the airport elevation, forget that. Airport elevation's fine, but my radar's showing -1. Is it not still? I hope it's fixed from the other day. It should be -1. I didn't think it showed minus figures unless we were stood in a puddle, and I think the weather's been quite nice in Milan today, so never mind. Okay, let's just go ahead and turn on the packs, and now we can start letting passengers on board. So we're going to go to our mass and balance, and the weather in, I'm just having a look, we've got 148 passengers, 2019 kilograms of cargo, and planned fuel is 5882. Little bit of traffic again tonight. We saw how long we got held up at Manchester last night burning fuel with the APU. It's also a not straightforward approach. So just for me personally, my own confidence, I'm going to throw a bit more fuel on there. The fuel burn in the Fenix with the sim reef profile that will come out with this is pretty accurate. We'll keep an eye on that as we go down to Naples as well. But it does sound, it does look like it's working quite well. So let's go and we'll add. Let's take 6.5 tons. Yeah, that's it. Six. There we go. 6.5 tons. Happy with that. We'll load the aircraft in real time, of course. Try again. Right, ready to start boarding. Passengers are boarding. As we can see, I also found this out. You can actually click on the passengers, I think, and it brings up information about them. How cool is that? I showed you the manifest the other day. I knew the manifest was here, so you can go through and check that out. But the fact that you can actually click on each individual person, guys, pick your seat. Where would you like to sit? It'd be kind of cool if the names were editable as well. Maybe I'll suggest that to Katie Pilot, see if she can code that in. Then we could have channel members and things on the flight deck. That would be something, wouldn't it? Okay. Boarding is underway. Time to start setting things up in the box. So let me go grab the operational flight plan. So here it is, plan flight level tonight, flight level 290, plan 0 fuel weight 57.9, and the tailwinds are helping us along as well this evening. Flight time should be bang on 1 hour. Alright, let's go and try and set all this up then. Now I'm just having a look. We have got tower is on a line tonight. CBD pre-departure clearance, we can't do that with the little tower, but doesn't matter. And just so you guys can see, we should have failures. We're going realistic, well not ultra realistic, but because I've not got all on, but we have got failures turned on. I don't expect to see any, but it is a probability. This is a new build as well. I just need to check. Have I? Yeah, I have calibrated everything there. You'll only have to do that once, of course, but because we're testing new builds at the moment, when they come out, every time we get a new build, we have to install it fresh and test and recalibrate everything. I tell you, one of the most annoying things about that is every single time we get a new build, I forget to load the new Navigraph air cycle database into it, which is a pain, because then you've got to come out the sim and put it back in. Okay, so have we got any messages yet? No, not yet. Not got the preliminary load sheet. Let's check. We've got 3 nav greens. Aircraft status. Valid air cycle. Correct engine database. Alright. Do our init request. So our flight number today is Fenix 320. Cost index is 5. I just left that set to auto in SimBrief, so cost index of 5 for that. And cruise altitude 290, and that cruise temperature is 39, minus 39. Tropo is 43542. Download the winds. There we go. Right, onto our flight plans. So this is what we're expecting, and I always have to be really careful with the airports here in Italy because they have the transitions on the departures, which isn't something that happens too often in most of the European airports, but they do have them here in Italy. So make sure I get this right, do this slowly, and if you spot anything I do wrong, then do shout up. So I'm expecting the VATSIM 6 Alpha, and that should be the lug 7 Alpha transition. And insert, and that should take us to a waypoint called Tuvib. Let's go through and check that. There it is. And then for my arrival it's going to be the ILS 24, and I had a big discussion with HD about this before, and was it the Sierra we agreed on? Very, very subtle differences with all of these. But yeah, the ILS 24 Sierra, and that is the IPCAM 2 Zulu, IPCAT 2 Zulu, and the VIA is Bento. Give that a second. Distance 385. I've got 390 on the flight plan, 5 miles, so that's acceptable. And now I'm just going to go through alongside the charts here and make sure that that this all matches. So 461, 462, 463, 64 and VATSIM. And there we can see the constraints as well, taking us all the way to Vib. There we are. We'll have a look at how that looks a little bit further on as well. That looks like that's all sequenced nice and correctly. We'll check that out in cruise, but on initial first initial viewing, that looks good. Okay, so for the RadNav, we'll check Linate should be auto-tuned. Indeed it is. We'll get that one turned on. And then onto the Init B page. So the planned zero fuel weight is 20... No, it isn't. It's 57.9. And I'm going to leave that. This is what I was going to ask HD about. I'm just going to leave the zero fuel weight CG blank until loading is completed, and I've got the final load sheet as well. They haven't come through just yet. Trip wind, don't need to enter that because that's been downloaded. Fuel planning. Dum dum dum. There we go. 4.3, and we've got. By the time we burnt some fuel, it's going to be 6.9. Alternate fuel tonight is 2 tons. That sounds like a lot, doesn't it? That gives us extra 25-minute flight time. Remember, we'll have to go back and fill this in once we've got our final load sheet. Right, on to our performance page then. Now, I don't know Linate too well. In fact, I can't even recall if I've ever departed from Linate. But do we have? Oh, I think we'll be going full length. Yeah, no intersection departures, full length. So departure So HD says 57.930 would be entered. That's what, yeah. That's what I had been doing. I suppose I've just left it blank to remind myself that needs to go in. But then again, I guess you could forget. So shouldn't forget. Now we've got all these messages from ops. So we're going to be departing runway 36. There's a speed restriction on that departure, which is 180. I suspect that's probably going to be flown at flaps 1 S speed. Anyway, let's leave that as optimum. We'll not force toga. Anti-ice will be off. Packs will be off. Planned takeoff weight then, according to the init B, is 64.6. And the takeoff CFG, of course, that's what we haven't got yet. So as HD and I were just discussing, I can leave that at 30 for the moment. I will fill that in. There we go. Grab the live weather. And we're not going to use any intersection departure, so I think we can just hit calculate, and that should do that all for us. 129.132. S speed is 193. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's okay. I thought that was 190. It's not. It's 180. Yeah. So we're going to fly S speed on the departure through the first couple of turns. So let's transfer that data over. 129.129.132. Just keeping an eye on the time. It's quite nice to have a little bit of pressure, isn't it? That's what they have in the real world. 129.129.132. Just double checking that. Paranoia checks to make sure we enter the correct details. Transition altitude here is indeed 6,000 feet. Thrust reduction, acceleration then for Linate is 1337. That's been rounded up to 1340 there. We can round it up, or we can leave that actually. Engine out is also the same. Flaps 1. And what was that flex? Flex is 61. There we go. Right, all that has been taken care of. All that's left to do is the secondary flight plan. Right. So we're going to try and enter the secondary flight plan, and we're going to enter in the engine out procedure here. Now this is non-standard, so this is going to be interesting to try to see if I can get this right. So secondary flight plan, let's just copy the active, and then let me just right. So the engine out procedure here, runway 36. Hang on, check fuel on the init B page. One moment. Fuel init B 6.9. Ooh, good shout. Did I enter 6.9? I must have done. See, that's why you guys are here. For stuff like that. And in all seriousness, that's why there's two guys in, and once the pilot flying has set up the box, they will ask the guy sat next to them, the pilot monitoring, to say, right, can you go through and check that box please? So I didn't see in the chat who spotted that first. Thank you so much. Good call. Right, back to this secondary flight plan. What we're going to do, where is it? Okay, so the secondary flight plan is for our engine out procedure. Now the engine out procedure here is non-standard, so at 7 miles out from Linate VOR we're going to make a right turn to the Tango Zulu Oscar NDB holding point. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is straight after the departure, I'm going to type in Linate, and the first, the point where we turn is at 7 miles from Linate, so it's place, bearing, which is going to be the runway track, which for us is 353, and that distance of 7 miles, and it's based on the Linate VOR, which is obviously the top one just there. And then after that we are then going to turn right to Tango Zulu Oscar. $11 miles out, and we're going to enter a hold just here. It has deleted the departure runway. It shouldn't have done that, should it? I'll check that, see what that looks like in a moment. Or can I go back in and edit that? Can I tell you what, let me start that again. Delete the secondary flight plan, copy the active flight plan. Maybe it's because I did the I tried to put it in on the line side key 2. So let me, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop it in here. I'm going to pop it in here, and then I'll delete the Linate VOR. So place that bearing again, which was 353, and it's at 7 miles. Let's pop that in there. Right, kept it this time. After that, Tango Zulu Oscar. It's the NDB. There's a VOR there as well, but it's NDB according to the documents. Pop a hold in there. Inbound course is 325, and the holds are left turns. And then from here we'll enter the arrival back here at Linate. I'll not join those up because if you had a real problem you'd probably have ATC vectors. Right, let me now see if I delete that just there. Although to be fair, actually it doesn't look that bad at all, but let's see what happens if I do delete that and then join that up. Oh, I can't delete that discontinuity. Right, okay. I don't know why I can't delete that. I can't join those up. For some reason it wanted to keep that, but never mind. I've not got engine failures turned on, but that was just an example of how we would go through and start that up. I'll put ILS 36 Zulu in. No star. Just so that's all there. And there we go. That's our engine out procedure coded in. Should we need it? What is that Lin intercept though? It should just turn and go direct to the Tango Zulu Oscar NDB. It shouldn't have this intercept here. There's nothing about that intercept there in the flight plan. Okay, I will leave that, but at least that's something that we can report to the devs. Is that the missed approach HD? I thought missed approach would have been shown in blue. Mind you, it's secondary, so it's white. But let me just see what the missed approach looks like for Linate approach. Runway Zulu. Oh, it is. It's that intercept there, isn't it? Two cars. Right, but I'm still confused as to why I have not just got... Oh, there it is. Yeah, oh, it's the discontinuities throwing me. Right, let me just try and explain this for my own peace of mind so I can get this in my head. So, the engine out procedure will be straight ahead to the place bearing distance 2, which is 7 miles Linate. That's then right, a right-hand turn to enter the hold. What you're seeing then is the approach that we've put in and the missed approach as well. Yeah, that's it. If that discontinuity wasn't there, it would have made a lot more sense. But anyway, we're not going to have an engine failure because I've turned them off. Right, happy with that. One thing I'm going to put in there, though, in anger, is Tango Zulu Oscar. And that's our Mr. Approach NDB. There we are. Right, I think we should be nearly about done. We've got a company message. Let's see what that is. If we're happy with that, we'll contact ATC. Then it'll probably change everything, but never mind. Right, so that's preliminary load sheet. This is what we've all got set up, I believe. .9, takeoff weight 63.6, so that's lower than we've actually got. That's good, that's fine. As long as it's lower, we're happy. We need the final load sheet as well, of course. There's our actual zero fuel weight, 31.0, so I will update that. There we go. Okay, we'll accept. We still need to wait for the final load sheet. That will come through when boarding is complete, of course. Right, should we contact ATC and see if we're going to be on the VATSIM 6 Alpha and the Log 7 Alpha transition? They've probably gone to bed. They're probably not online anymore. Let's find out. 1181. Let's just check the latest status because I bet that's changed. QNH 1015, and we have information. X-ray. I think I've just heard the doors close. That's quite neat. Boarding's completed. Doors have closed. 118.1. Let's contact the tower. I need to check our initial climb as well because that's not too clear on the chart I've got. Linate Tower, good evening. Fenix 320, Type A320, stand 6, requesting IFR clearances filed to Naples, and we have information X-ray.
Fenix 320, Linate Tower, good evening. We have a special A320 this evening. Information X-ray correct, clear to Naples. VATSIM 6 Alpha departure. Log the 7 Alpha transition. Climb initially to 5,000 feet, squawk 1,000.
Cleared via the VATSIM 6 Alpha departure, Logan 7 Alpha transition, initial climb 5,000, squawk 1,000, Fenix 320.
Fenix 320 is the correct.
Excellent, everything we've planned is what we've been given.
A75 request push and start.
Oh my god, Dark Fury is flying Ryanair.
Ryanair A75, you are in a startup stand, startup approved, QNH 1015. Staff approved QNH1005 right now.
Right, let's do it here. Let's do a departure brief. So, if we're all ready for the briefing, I'm just going to silence ATC while we do that. So, weather here in Linate, clear skies, so no problems with the weather. Takeoff weight is about a ton below our maximum landing weight, so no problems getting back here if we need to. Aircraft is fully serviceable. A320. No times to be aware of on our departure. Funnily enough, we need to be we need to be in Naples by 11 PM local time because the runway closes. But that's another matter. That's for real life. Threats to be aware of then is the terrain, of course. So let's I'll talk about the terrain in a moment. We're going to taxi out on off stand 6 one-way system here, so it's going to be Delta Zulu Tango, presumably. Full length departure holding Tango 1. Then on departure, RNAV departure, initial climb 5,000 feet. Minimum safe altitude, as you can see here, is 10,100 feet based off the Linate VOR. And we have max speed in these first two terms of 180 knots, so I'm going to fly that at S speed. I'm just going to go ahead and check. Yeah, we'll fly that at, oh, hang on, 180 knots. Yeah, do you know what? Let's do flaps 2. Which means I need to rerun the perf. Hey Gandhi, thank you so much for your kind donation there. I didn't miss it. I think I was in the middle of something. But hey Gandhi saying, appreciate you running through all this before you get let loose on the aircraft. You've been taking loads of notes. Can't wait to get your hands on it. Hey Gandhi, you will love it. Thank you so much for your kind donation and continued support of the channel. Yes, so flaps config 1's no good for that speed restriction. We're a little bit too heavy for that. I can't fly at 190. Max is 180. So let's go flaps 2. Have we got our final load sheet now? That would help. Right, so here is the final load sheet. Check the performance and weights. So final load sheet, zero fuel is 57.9. Takeoff weight is 63.5 or 63.6. That's the preliminary load sheet. Where's the final one? Has that one not come through yet? How can I sync the? It says sync the final load sheet. For some reason that's not come through the ACARS, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to cheat, I'm going to press that. That is the final figures then. I do want flaps 2 because of that. We've got live weather. Let's just recalculate for flaps 2. 30, 133. Flaps 2. That to me is a mental threat because I'm so used to setting flaps 1 for everything. If it's flaps 2, I forget. And flex is 61. Flex is the same. Frank TV, cheers from Linate Tower. Hey mate, how you doing? How you doing? Right, company message, here's the final load sheet. Let's check these out between us all, shall we? Right, final load sheet, 0 fuel weight, 57.9. That's right. Takeoff weight, 64.1. That is correct. 148 passengers plus 4. Let's check what we're planning over here. Takeoff weight 64.1. Takeoff weight CFG should be 31. enter that. It won't let me enter that. Let's reset. $29.1. That's not what it's telling us, is it? Oh yeah, there it is, 29.1. There we go. Oh, I just need to put the slash there, otherwise I'm going to change the zero fuel weight. And the takeoff CFG is forward because of the fuel. Can we alter that? Or is it just based on... It's just based on this, isn't it? Let me just come over a little bit closer. This will be a lot easier if you have an external tablet, because you can be looking at the load sheet on the McDo and you can have the tablet actually in front of you. So, we're going to go flaps to, let's just do this from the beginning, flaps to, because of the speed constraint, not forcing toga, and chassis off, packs is off, takeoff weight. The takeoff weight is 64.1. That's correct. The takeoff weight CFG and I'm just going to let HD have a look at that. So we've got the correct takeoff weight in. We're just after the CFG. So the zero fuel weight CFG should be 30.8. That's correct, isn't it? We've got a discrepancy there. That's correct. And now just go back over and check here, 29.1. That's correct. $64.1 and to page up 64.1. There we go. Everything matches up. So now we can get the latest weather and run the calculation. Three 3739 flaps to 65. $139 was that last one? Yeah. Flaps to 65. Right, done. the fact that we get final load sheets with all the figures on is great. It's going to take some getting used to, but yeah. Thank you for the guidance, HD. We can all re-watch this stream again later, work out where we got ourselves muddled up. So that's now all done. I just want to go and pre-select our climb speed. Because of that constraint, we can pre-select 180, which was the max speed in there. We're going flex 2, that's fine. Selected. All good. Let's just talk through that departure again. We know where we're taxiing out. So through the departure, we're going to climb flaps 2, flaps 2. We're going to leave flaps 2 until Mike Lima 464. Then we're going to go flaps 1, passing 464. After that, we can go into manage speed, accelerate away, and we'll clean up on schedule. What time is it? 20:53. Do you know what? Even after all that, we should still leave on time. How much fuel have we burnt? 6.4. That's fine. That's still within our limits. Right, the APU is up and running. Let's get the fuel pumps turned on. All the passengers are strapped into the seats. I'll just do a couple of final checks and then we'll start running some checklists.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. My name is Gavin, and I'd like to welcome you on board this Fenix A320 neo aircraft. Our flight time today should be as scheduled, and we're not anticipating any delays or any bad weather, so we should have a nice, pleasant, safe flight for you. In the next few minutes or so, we'd like you to get yourself seated, sat down safely with your seatbelts fastened, and make sure the aisles are kept clear so that I can have the crew or balance seating other fellow passengers. The ground crew are nearly finishing loading and heading into the aircraft, so we look forward to a safe and pleasant flight with you today, and we thank you for choosing to fly with the EasyJet Sim behind. Thank you.
Okay, looks like we're all good. So the before start checklist. Cockpit preparation is complete. Signs are on. And auto adheres. 3 nav greens. Fuel quantity is 6430 kilograms. FNGS is set. Altimeter 1015. 350 feet. No need for the pushback tug today. We're going to be starting engines on stand.
Cabin crew, we're all ready to go, so please arm the doors and cross-check. Thank you.
So we'll ask for permission to start up and then we'll run the before start checklist below the line.
Delta 65 Charlie, push start approved, QNH 1015.
1015, push start approved, Lufthansa 65 Charlie.
And Tower Fenix 320 stand 6, request engine start.
Fenix 320, start up approved, QNH 1015.
Roger, Fenix 320. Reset that. And let's get our engine started then. So, engine mode selected to ignition and starting engine 1. Let's head outside.
Fenix 875 via Tango 1, runway 36, and up and clear for takeoff. Towards you, please, 2 knots.
Clear for takeoff, runway 36, Ryanair 875.
Short Tower to the KLM 93 Alpha ILS 34. Clear to land runway 34, KLM 93 Alpha.
And then for engine number 2, I will do that inside the cabin.
Runway 15 Bravo, Milano Torre.
Fenix 875 identified, contact Milano 126750, ciao.
One two six 750, Ryanair 875, thank you.
Ladies, gentlemen and channel members,
33 Bravo, Linate Tower,
attention to the monitors and cabin crew as we
Go
review
ahead,
the emergency
30 Bravo.
procedures. There are
33 Bravo, sorry for delay, I had to coordinate for your flight level with Milano. Anyway, clear to Munchen via Ruvab 6 Bravo departure, Nesti 6 Alpha transition, climb initially to 6,000 feet, squawk 1,000.
oxygen masks will drop down from above your seat.
Runway 30 Bravo is due to destination via Ruvag 6 Bravo departure, Nexi 6 Alpha transition, 6,000 feet initial climb and squawk is 1,000, 30 Bravo.
Fenix 33 Bravo, read back correct.
Light rafts are located beneath your seats. Emergency lighting in the floor will guide you to your nearest exit. We now ask that all carry-on luggage is stowed away safely during the flight. Whilst we wait for takeoff, please take a moment to review the safety procedures and the safety card in front of you. Electronic devices must now be switched off or turned to airplane mode until we instruct you that it is again safe to use them. Our cabin service will...
Fenix 30 Bravo, stand 3 and request push and start.
Fenix 33 Bravo, push and start approaching H105.
Okay, so engines 1 and 2 both started. Let's run the after start checks. Anti-ice is off. ECAM status, something I need to start remembering doing. It never really mattered in the fly-by-wire, but it does in this aircraft, of course. ECAM status is checked. Pitch trim is 29.1. Rudder is 0. Whilst I'm here on stand, I'm going to do a control check. So full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral rudder, full right rudder, full left, and neutral. Also, while we were starting up, I heard ATC give the next frequency, which is 12675, so I'm going to go ahead and get that set up on the standby. There we are. And then I think, as long as there's no ground crew around, we're about ready to go. Tower Fenix 320, stand 6, ready for taxi.
Fenix 320, accessing point Tango 1, runway 36 via Delta, Zulu and Tango, you are number 1 for departure.
Holding point Tango 1 via Delta Zulu Tango, thank you Fenix 320. Double check our route. Delta Zulu Tango, as we'd briefed then. So, PEDS check. No change now to our performance. QNH 1015 is going to be a flex departure. Engine out procedure is non-standard. 7 miles. We'll make that right turn. To enter our holding point. Departure is the Absent 6 Alpha, the log 7 Alpha transition, and initial climb 5,000.
Lufthansa 265 Charlie, sorry I couldn't hear.
We've got our tax light on, we have, it's just quite dim.
Lufthansa 265 Charlie confirmed following the A320 on the left.
Yeah, follow the A320 on the left, holding point Tango 1, runway 36.
Following A320.
Captain HMW, remember to dim the passenger cabin. Yeah, we can do that. That's the cabin crew's job, but we can do it on the EFB, can't we? Von McLean, change it to LEDs. Is that like the LED light, the headlights in the cars that just blind everyone coming towards them? The guy can see where he's going fine, but I'm in a ditch somewhere because I've been blinded.
Bravo, ready for taxi.
So yeah, you can swap between halogen and LED lights in the Phoenix.
Tango, all short of Zulu. Number 3 for departure.
Tango 1 by Charlie, Bravo, Tango.
So just wait till we're on the long straight run, then I'll run the next checklist.
Number 3, 3 Bravo.
3 Bravo, confirm all short of Zulu.
All short of Zulu, 3 Bravo.
Once we're on Tango, I'll run that checklist because hopefully I'm not having to look where we're going then. So there it is, nice long taxi down Tango to our holding point. Welcome to everyone who has come on board. Did we depart on time? Did anybody notice? We're going to get a message from Ops telling us we were late. Here we go, left on Tango. HD says delay code for the load sheet discrepancy. I wonder if that is there. It might be. We'll check that out. If not, we need to get the devs to add it. Von McLean, they should definitely not be one for user error. Who's going to admit to that? Right, long straight section. Let's run the before takeoff checklist of the line. Flight controls have been checked. Departure briefing is confirmed. Flap setting config 2. FMA takeoff data 137 blue, 129 magenta. Climb nav blue, 152, 5000 blue. Flex 65. Transponder is set. ECA memo takeoff no blue. EFB stowed.
Bravo, continuo taxi. Via Tango, holding point. Tango 136, 33 Bravo.
Big thanks to everyone who's watching and on board. Not sure the Airbus could carry 497, but loving the fact that you guys are all here enjoying the Fenix action. We're going to need some tutorial videos.
United Tower Legend, 413 Tango information Yankee, request IFR clearance and startup.
Legend 419 United Tower, good evening, information Yankee correct. Cleared to Lima Echo Alpha Lima via Tobsa 6 Alpha departure, Genova 6 correct transition, climbing 5,000 feet, 5413.
Legend 413 Tango cleared to destination via Tofsa 6 Alpha departure via Golf Echo November 6 Victor transition climbing 5,000 feet and squawk 5113.
Do you know, I was just about to comment on that. I'm just watching the speed. I'm not having to do any braking at all. The Neo accelerates away much faster. I'm at thrust. My thrust levers are idle, and I think I've gained like 2 knots throughout the entire taxi, so much easier to control.
Golf Echo November 6 Quebec and squawk 5416.
413 Tango 5413 5413.
5413 Legend 413 Tango.
413 Tango back.
We read out nav blue just to make sure that we're in nav mode. You could fly in could fly out in heading mode occasionally if you need to fly a specific heading straight after departure. But this is a nice RNAV departure, so nav mode it is.
Tower, good evening, Ryanair 412. Continue number 2, 412.
Fenix 320 via Tango 1, runway 36, land up and clear for takeoff, wind is calm.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 36, Fenix 320. Wind is calm.
Delta 147, good evening, Milano. We are at send 2 waiting for Yankee on board. Ready to copy the clearance.
Ciao Delta 1947, Linate.
Before takeoff, checklist below the line. Cabin is secured, engine mode select is normal, TCAS tier area packs off, anti-ice not required.
Yeah, to final destination, remaining Papa Zulu at of the 5 up departure, Gen 6 Quebec transition, initial 5,000 feet, squawk 1,000, Delta 1947.
Delta 1947 is correct.
Okay guys, I'm going to do the departure once again. I'll turn the sound up a little bit so that you can all hear, but here we go. So, takeoff.
Tower from the
Start the chrono. 50% M1. Engine stable, set takeoff thrust. Man flex, SRS, runway.
Lufthansa 265 Charlie, after departing traffic, is returning runway 36, nothing with after.
Lufthansa 25 Charlie,
Check.
please say again.
Lufthansa 265 Charlie, runway 36, nothing wait.
Line up and wait,
You want
Lufthansa
rotate.
25 Charlie.
Nav.
3 Tower, good evening, 010 Mike, final runway 34.
approach number 2, I-1010 Mike.
Phoenix 320 Linate Tower identified. Contact Milano 12675. Enjoy the city of Milan on the left hand side. Have a nice flight. Thank you for coming Italy. Ciao.
12675, thanks for the service, Phoenix 320.
Bye bye.
Departure Phoenix 320, passing altitude 2,300 to 5,000, Epsilon 6 Alpha departure.
Fenix 320, hello sir. Milan radar identified. Line flight level 190, direct Lockheed.
Climb flight level 190, direct Lockheed for Phoenix 320. Okay, so you'll see a little message about the asymmetrical thrust there. My thrust levers weren't quite at the same value, so just need to be very careful with that. I'm going to get through this turn, and then we've been given a direct, so we can go manage speed and clean up. That's flaps 1. That's past S speed. Flap 0, spoilers disarmed. The main thing is now we've turned away from the terrain. That's behind us. All good. Did you see the nose drop as well on takeoff? Did you guys notice that? That's something that you'll notice when flying. If you're used to flying the fly-by-wire, the NEO, the rotation load that it's got, and we had this yesterday. You need to pull through sort of like the 10 degrees initial pitch, and then I kind of relaxed a little bit. We got through the 10 degrees, I relaxed off the side stick a bit, and it suddenly, instead of it always thinking that, you know, the kind of point and shoot effect, that's it, I've got the crosshairs all set, I let go of the back pressure on the side stick, and suddenly the nose dropped a little bit, and that's just something that I'm going to have to get used to when flying the Phoenix. And with chatting to the real life pilots, that's modelled incredibly well. Right, we're now past 10,000 feet. Start to accelerate away. We can make our cruise altitude today, that's not going to be any issue. We're under ATC control though, so we can't just go ahead and set that. Something else to remember.
Milan radar, hello, Lufthansa 265 Charlie, climbing 6,000 feet.
Lufthansa 265 Charlie, hello, sir, Milan radar, continue climb flight 190, direct.
Yeah, I've just gone ahead and set the cost index of 0 for the climb. And now more things which is new to us. We're going to take that secondary flight plan, copy the primary into the secondary, so we've got it in there should we need to mess around. So, oh, we've got performance there. Was that there yesterday? Delete the secondary flight plan, copy the secondary flight plan. Oh, copy the active flight plan. There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has now turned off the seatbelt sign and you are now free to move around the cabin. We do recommend, however, when in your seat, that you keep...
Fenix 320, contact now Milano radar 127.450, good evening.
127450, thanks for the service. Fenix 320, bye-bye.
Thank you.
To a station. This is Milan Radar speaking. Closing. Unicom 128. Ciao.
Straight over to Unicom. No problem. 122.8 for us then. There we go. Scott, you can view the secondary flight plan at the same time, but you have to select it. Activate it here, not activate it, that's the wrong word, but show it here on the McDo, and then it's exactly the same, so you can't see it, but it shows up in white on the navigation display. If you rewind the stream and see when we had the engine out procedure in there, you'll see it there. Right, so we can go up to our cruising altitude tonight, which was going to be 290. There we go, thrust climb 290 blue. So, couple of questions regarding the speed bug showing 180. Well, that was there because I pre-selected that speed. Technically, I didn't have to because VNav, I think the constraints would have been in there for it. But if I wanted to fly at... okay, let's choose a different example. So, the speed was 180. That was the constraint speed, wasn't it? Let's just say we were very, very light. And S speed was 177. So 3 knots slower. If S speed was 3 knots slower, we could have flown that at flaps 1, and I could pre-select S speed and fly at S speed. No point burning the extra 3 knots worth of fuel. So if you'd have left it in managed speed and just using the VNav, it would have targeted the constraint of 180, whereas we may as well just fly at S speed rather than burning a little bit more fuel, which if S speed was 177, I then pre-selected it. So then after departure, the heading bug goes into that pre-selected speed of 177. So for this one, I could have left it. I could have left it to target 180 because I was targeting 180 regardless. But hopefully that explains a little bit why it did it. Wayne, it will be runway 24, that is correct. And HD says he sometimes likes to pre-select the speed because it appears on the FCU, so it's just a reminder that's there for a reason. Right, so we are on our own for the moment. I don't know if there's going to be any further ATC tonight. unless someone sees us and decides to open up Naples ATC. But now, we'll just get up to cruise, and then we need to work out how we're going to do the approach. Lots of terrain, and it's dark, so... Thomas asks, will the Phoenix be available to buy in the store? No, afraid not. Dark Fury, smooth flight in the Ryanair so far, Christian, until you break it into the runway. Stefan, thank you for showcasing this beautiful aircraft. You can't wait to fly it. Do I recommend getting the TCA officers pack to fly it? It's obviously not the cheapest bit of kit, but if you are in a position to be able to get it, I can't recommend it highly enough. It's fantastic. Definitely adds to the immersion. Wayne, runway 24 is indeed beautiful to fly during the daytime. Don't think you've ever done it at night. I've never done it at night either. Hey, look at this, look at this, look at this. Literally watching the moon rise. Gazza, you're new to VATSIM, so if you're on Unicom, I don't normally say anything now unless I can see TCAS traffic and I know it's going to the same destination as me. I will announce when I'm sort of like in a traffic pattern at my arrival airport. But other than that, that's about it. Alex, how does this compare to the fly-by-wire for ease of use for learning for new simmers? Right, if you are confident in flying the fly-by-wire, you'll have no problems transitioning into the Phoenix. And there we go, alt cruise. Didn't take long.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the cockpit, once again, just to let you know that we've reached our cruise level for today's flight. We're not anticipating any delay, so we should have you in your destination on time as planned. As the cabin crew make their way around the aircraft, please make sure the aisles are clear of any items. On your way to sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the flight. Thank you.
Right, we'll throw the cost index back in, which was, it was only 5. So there we go. Right, let's have a look at this arrival plan. We'll just go through the SD pages, make sure there's nothing untoward, which these all are fully working, of course. Cabin altitude 5,000 feet. We're not flying very high tonight, flight level 290 for an hour's flight. Hydraulics. We've seen this as well in the fly-by-wire. The green hydraulic looks low because it's holding the landing gear in place. Fultra FJ, thank you so much for your kind €199 donation. Can I turn the lights down for a moment? Do you mean the cabin lights? I will do so in a second. Thank you so much. Really, really do appreciate your donation there. Am I listening to the guard frequency? Probably not. I don't usually think about this because the fly-by-wire remembers the frequencies that you had set previously. If I actually activate it here, it activates on Unicom, and I don't want to do that. God knows, there'll be all sorts of noises going on. Flagevar, FJ, I'll head to the cabin in a minute. I just want to do a quick fuel check now. We're at our top of climb, 5 miles outside of Hector. Let me just bring up the pilot brief. What did we take with us? We took 6.5 tons, didn't we? Which is 5, 6, 7, about 800 kilogram extra. So we got a shortcut. This should be a little bit lower. Where are we headed to? Hector. So we should have just under 5 tons. There it is. Just under 5 tons. Looks good. Christian, I can't dim the standby instrument now. Not now it's old-fashioned. Where do we turn the cabin lights off? Are they on the... Oh, they may just be on the settings here. No, not there. Sim settings. Or is it panel states? Oh no, sim settings, cabin, cabin lights. There you go. Theo, there are indeed our nav approaches, yep. Stuart G, welcome. We are off to Naples. We'll have to do a flight over Italy in the daytime, but just looking at the lights and that down there, they look quite decent, don't they? Pinpoint accuracy and all that. Now we've had the update. Loving that moon. Right. I'm going to start having a look at the approach because I know I've got to think a little bit about this one. Oh, let me just link the Navigraph so you can see it on here. Again, because this is a new build today, all of the settings have been forgotten. So that will just take a second. So this is going to be one of those approaches, which I'll bring the charts up in a minute once I've got it all sorted. This is going to be one of those approaches where the aircraft will need to be configured a little bit earlier than normal. Now, has that worked? I'm trying to do this on a on my phone. Yeah, there we go. Right, let me just import the route and then we'll have a look at the arrival. Flager FJ, I'm so sorry. You wanted the lighting between the displays dimming. Let's have a quick look. Thank you again for your €4.99 super chat. Really kind of you to support the stream. Right, so if I turn those down, is that are they the ones that you wanted to see? Hopefully that's giving you the image you want. Were you trying to look for the bleed? This is how you fly, isn't it, HD? You're a vampire. You don't like any light whatsoever. Like a bat. Right, so our arrival. HD mode, yeah. What are we doing? Our arrival today is the IPCAM 2 Zulu, which is here. And then we'll also pin the ILS Sierra chart. There we go. Right, let's have a look at this. The fact that I'm going to be able to draw on this, I think, is going to come in quite useful today. Grudan. Now turn the screens off and just fly with the standbys. Right, here we go. Let's put nighttime charts on. So we are going to come in at IPCAM just here. Now this is where we need to have a look at the altitudes, not just at this point, but then on the next page as well, to work out if we're going to be able to descend at our normal 3-degree glide, which we're not. So that's 7,500, 7,000. What's the difference? Where's it shown? Or transition level if higher, or 2 by air traffic control. Well, let's pretend we've got air traffic control. Let's call this 7,000. So at Romeo November 411, I want to be at 7,000 feet. I need to get as low as I'm legally allowed to do, because otherwise I'm not going to get down to the runway in time. So, Romeo November 411, first thing I want to check is that we've got some constraints in there. Too steep path ahead. Well, how long have we got actually to our top of descent? Not long. Not long. Right, Romeo November 411, the overfly point, that's fine. In here, I'm going to hard code this, which is probably going to bring our top of descent forward. I want 2,000 feet at Romeo November 411. Did I say 2,000 feet just then? 7,000 feet. Not only do I want 7,000 feet, I also want to have started slowing down. So I want to be green dot at this point. Far out, but I need to be slow, otherwise I'm going to be far too fast and high. So if I can get to Romeo November 411 at 7,000 feet, I still can't get any lower until I've got to Bento. But if I'm at green dot by this point, I can then start slowing down even further and configuring. So let's put in let's put in 220 knots there, just to help it compute with what we're going to be doing. Right, now let's have a look at Bento, which will be on the next chart. So here it is, look. So after we've passed Bento, we need to lose 1,600 feet in a distance of 3.4 miles. So that's where we're going to start descending steeper than normal, which is why we want to be configured earlier than normal. So Bento 7000 by ATC, that's fine. Then after that, 5,900 at 516. And I'm also going to pop the fact that by this point I wanted to have started slowing down. Let me just change that as well. $7,000 feet, and you can see I'm reducing the speed, and then everything here is fine. But the main thing is that by 411, before Bento, we've got a speed constraint there at Bento of 200, so we're going to be flaps 1 by then, and we may even, looking at where we are with the glide slope, we may even have flaps 2 out. So slowing down early, flaps 2 out nice and early. And if we look at the ILS glide path, it is slightly steeper than the norm, so 3.3. Okie TM, good morning mate, how you doing? Just check out the missed approach procedure, 6,000 feet, where's my pen gone? 6,000 feet. And a left turn, direct to Gemma. And then to the is that Sorrento? Sierra Oscar Romeo. Max speed then of 185. Now let's go and have a look and see if the go around track is actually in there. Oh yeah, look at that, there it is. The go around track is in there. A few people said they were surprised not to see it on the couple of flights I did yesterday, and that's because there really wasn't one, it was just a manual leg. Right. Now I've coded this in, let's actually brief it. $7,000 feet, Romeo November 411. I want to be green dot by this point as well. Flaps 1 as we leave Romeo November 411. Come into Bento, and then Bento. A nice steady descent down there. We're probably going to be on the ILS, so flaps 2, and if we're flaps 2, 180 knots. And that then should see us right. Subsonics, no release date for the Phoenix, no, not yet. Gandhi on descent, let's link arms and chant for Ryanair. HD, maybe consider flaps 2 and 180 knots at Bento, nudge nudge wink wink. Is that not what I briefed? What did I brief? I did brief that, didn't I? Well, if I didn't, that's what we're doing. Potential for glide slope from above procedure. Right, if we need to do the glide slope from above procedure, then that is as soon as we realise we're going to be high, get the gear down, set a descent rate of something sensible, 1,000 feet per minute, 1,500 feet per minute max, and make sure your altitude is wound up so we don't level off and intercept it. Thomas, is the weather radar working? Not yet. No. But that is an issue with the simulator, not the Fenix. The final thing I need to know is where are we going when we've landed? If we can vacate at Bravo Charlie, then that would be nice. That's the rapid exit taxiway. If we vacate at Bravo... Oh, either way, we've got to go all the way around, haven't we? Turn... Whenever we vacated, we're turning left. Right, so... Just in case I forget, where's my green dot gone? Why is there no green dot? Oh, come on, Katie. I want my green dot back. Right, okay, so... Green dot by here. I want... Flaps 1. And then... That was a rubbish colour. Don't like that colour. And then speed 180. Flaps 2. There. Bento. If you're doing this on the actual on a proper tablet, then that would be great, much easier than me scribbling around here. In fact, get rid of that. I don't need that. What I wanted was get rid of that. That's rubbish. I was about to write 220 knots in there for green dot, but I've just written a big GD on there. There we go. There's my plan. HT going through the glide slope from above procedure, so 180 knots, flap 2, gear down, make sure the localizer is captured. Yeah, you can't do this unless the localizer is captured. Otherwise, if you try doing it before, you might slam into some of these hillsides over here, and that's not good. Passengers tend to frown upon that. VS 1500, oh, it's the maximum 2000. Oh, fair enough. Check glide slope blue, wind the FCU altitude up. All good. Top of descent then is in around about 50 miles. Job done. Oh, right. Have we... We never accepted our final load sheet, did we? should probably have accepted that. Fenix operations. Send a delay code for 1 minute. I'll pretend we didn't get that. Went to the weather destination one, that comes through as well. Wayne, you're going to draw naughty things on your flypad. Matt Warren, you just finished watching the Flight Deck to Sim stream of the Phoenix. He even mentioned this stream on it. Oh, God bless him. and just doing everything we can to help me have a picture of where we are. Should have mentioned as well, once we're on this approach, the minimum safe altitude around the airport is 8,400 meters because of the terrain around it. Air Gandhi delay code HD stressed. There's going to be a debrief. I'll buy my own biscuits. Right, has that weather come through yet? Let's have a look. There it is. So let's enter the destination data, the performance page. QNH is 1018. Temperature is 19. Wind 2203. Transition flight level is 80. Fuel class 8000, so it's going to be Cat 1. Runway visibility range needs to be 1,000 meters or a kilometer, and it's above that, so minimums are 540 with 2 engines. Yeah, so that is for the missed approach climb gradient of a minimum of 5%. We've got 2 engines, so we can do that. I knew HD was about to pick up on the fact it says transition flight level rather than altimeter. In the charts, transition altitude is given, isn't it? There is our top of descent, around 12-13 miles away. Alright, can I explain why I inserted those fixes? So the only reason I like a 30-mile fix around my destination. A 30-mile fix means I should be at 10,000 feet, well, slowing down. I need to be 10,000 feet, 250 knots, ideally lower. If I'm at 8,000 feet as I cross that ring, I know that I'm good with my profile. I've got time to slow down, and if I'm at 10,000 feet by then, I need to perhaps use some speed brakes, get down a little lower. If I'm higher than that, then I really need speed brakes to get down. So it's just a way of gauging things. Okay, so descent has started. We're on our way down. Descent flight level 70. However, heading down that low, we actually want the local pressure in there, which is 1018. Let's go ahead and set that. Do you know, I didn't set the standby, did I? The archaic standby. There we are. Terrain radar on. Something else I need to remember to keep putting on, because here obviously in the fly-by-wire, sadly that doesn't work yet. Oran, I can draw on the charts, yeah, so I know, and I should know what I'm doing. Should being the operative word. So that's where I want green dot, flap 1, and then I want to be 180 bar flaps 2 as we get to Bento. So the fact that I've told it I want to be at around 220 knots, which we in fact we've got our clean speed shown. Yeah, so clean speed on the approach will be 214. So yeah, 220 by then. The fact that I've got that coded in means that we've just told by giving it those speeds, it's given the VNav a heads up of what I'm planning to do. So it knows it needs to be low enough to level off at some point to start targeting that speed as we get there. And look at the clouds coming up towards us. Captain M, hello. Virtual pilot, the charts only are, that's right, they're only for people that have got a Navigraph account. But if you haven't got a Navigraph account, I've not tried it actually. If you haven't got a Navigraph account, it will show you a nice map on here. Here we go, look, ground radar's coming in. Maybe a little turbulent as we go over some terrain beneath us. Stuart, would I consider doing some updated tutorials in the Fenix? Well, we'll definitely be doing some tutorials for like the new features that perhaps we're not used to seeing in the fly-by-wire, because obviously that will need to be done. But to be honest, the VNav tutorial that I did in the fly-by-wire is pretty much the same as I'm doing here in the Fenix. Stefan, I don't know about a working printer. The point is, we've got two... Hang on, what's that?
Traffic.
Where's that traffic gone?
Clear of conflict.
Well, that was different. I didn't even see the TCAS blue pop up just then. Mind you, if I've not got TCAS nav mode enabled, it wouldn't have done, would it? We will have to fly. Do you know what? If we can get a stream in tomorrow, shall we see if we can find an approach that's not ILS? I was just about to disconnect the autopilot and pop us in the green band. Then it disappeared. Commander Shadow, am I going to do an EasyJet real ops flight? I will do, of course. There's plenty of the EasyJet liveries available. But just at the moment, whilst we're still showing off this fantastic aircraft, we're going to stick with our nice Fenix livery. Right, 66 track miles to run. We're below the profile for that, that's fine. So of course this 30-mile arc that I talked about is okay almost if you come in a little bit more direct, but we've got quite a few more track miles to fly, as you can see. If we were going directly to the airport, then I'd be far too high, but we've got these extra track miles which we can check here. We've got coming up to 60 track miles, so the profile for that on a nice 3-degree descent is 20,000 feet, and we're at 17, so that's okay. That's good. And you can actually see the aircraft is starting to slow down a little bit already because it knows the constraints are coming up. Oran, thank you so much for your kind donation. Oran says that this aircraft is very impressive. Thank you for sharing it with us. Appreciate it. You are more than welcome, Oran. It's a pleasure. It really, really is a pleasure to showcase the aircraft. And as I've said before in the previous streams, big thanks to the devs for allowing me to showcase the aircraft. It is a joy to fly, and I know that everyone's going to absolutely love it when the release date comes. There's going to be Microsoft Flight Simulator is just going to be full of A320s the world over when that comes. And to those subscribing as well during the stream tonight, thank you so much. Simply YT, I've not flown the Tollis for a long time. I haven't had X-Plane for years. But from what I recall, I'd say this is a few degrees ahead of it. Okay, seatbelt signs have come on. Let's run the approach checklist. So our arrival brief is confirmed. The seatbelts are on. Minimums are 540 set. Engine motor selector is normal and the FB is stowed.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fasten seatbelt sign has been turned on. Please ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened and return to your seats immediately if you are not already seated. Infant seatbelts are provided for our passengers traveling with small children. Please ensure that they are secured safely and ask a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. The toilets will now go out of use until the fasten seatbelt sign is turned off. Whilst seated, please find the airline magazine in the front pocket, providing you with lots of information about the channel and the perks of becoming a channel member. Thank you.
Right, let's start concentrating on our moonlit approach this evening. So bang on the profile that we need it to be on.
Naval traffic, Alpine 18 to Echo, small operator, 2
Dane, when am I going to upgrade the PC? Speak nicely to the wife. Oh no, don't do that. It's easier to beg for forgiveness than ask for permission. Around the sounds you're hearing are from self-loading cargo. That's an external mod. So no, not with the plane. So can you just see the airframe just bouncing around a little bit, not too much. Christian, good night, my friend. Thank you for being here as always. NGX asks what new sounds were added in this new build. Remind me when we get on the ground, guys. I will. I'll find the changelog for you and read that out. I just don't want to do that at this this critical stage of flight. I need to be on the ball with what we're doing. Right. So now I'm going to leave it in managed mode, and I'm going to activate the approach phase. I want to start slowing down and getting ready to configure early. Lou, you want to see the EasyJet Switzerland livery? It's included, so it's there. Yeah, don't need to worry about that. India November Papa Lima is identified, or INPL. HD, my PM's now disappearing off to go and watch. No problem. See you on the ground, hopefully. If we don't hear from HD again, all's gone well. If you're just coming on board, thank you for joining us. We're just about to make our final approach into Naples. Mike's Basement, do they have Lufthansa and SAS liveries as well? I would have to check.
Napoli traffic R518, on 5,
Naples traffic, Fenix 320 is 1 mile inbound from IPCAM, arriving runway 24 right. I'll show you this as well. There we are. Look, we're even on the moving map. So I wanted green dot by this point that we're just reaching. We are already green dot. We're now at 7,000 feet. And we need to hold 7,000 feet until after we pass Bento. Henry, do the sun visors work? Yes, but not at night. Andrew Sohn, good night, my friend. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again on the next one. Okay, we're turning inbound Bento now. I want to start slowing down and configuring flaps 1. Speeds checked, flaps 1. And this is what I meant by configuring early for for this approach. So I want to start reducing speed 180 knots, and we want flaps 2 at Bento, and we'll pick up that glide slope. There's the localizer. I'm going to arm that now. Lock blue. Can't arm the approach. We haven't got the glide slope just yet. Three miles from Bento, flaps 2, speeds checked, flaps 2. So now with flaps 2 out, we've got the drag that we need for the quicker than normal descent. You can hear those engines just spooling up to compensate for that.
Traffic
Localizer is alive. Thrust idle, open descent, 5,900 blue. Probably don't need to descend quite that quickly. Tell you what I should have done. This would have made things a little bit better for me. We've got the progress page open now. There we go, 17 miles out. We can now lose another 1,000 feet, which takes us to 4,900 feet. Oh, there's our glide slope. Glide slope captured. Missed approach altitude, 6,000 feet is set. And we're on the ILS. 14-mile final. Naples traffic, Fenix 320 on finals, runway 24 established, 14 miles. Yeah, what I also could do, just to, instead of having to look down there all of the time, would probably have been easier just to put the Naples VOR in there. Now I can see our distance roughly to the airfield. That's not exact, remember, that's a VOR, it's not an ILS DME. Have we passed Vesuvius? Yeah, we've now warmed up so we can get rid of that. I was going to turn it off a bit earlier, but it was still just a couple of degrees too cold, and then I was concentrating on other things. It's not a major issue. Winds are light when we come in, so hopefully shouldn't have too much drift. Once I disconnect the autopilot, everything should be more or less pointed in the right direction. So let's start slowing down now, shall we? We'll pop her into managed speed.
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll be relieved to know we are about to land.
Flaps 3, speeds checked. Flaps 3. Radio altimeter is alive. And at 5 miles then, let's get fully configured. Gear down, spoilers, get our lights on, and are the signs not on? Yes they are. And flaps full. Landing checklist. Cabin secured for landing, auto thrust speed, go around altitude is 6,000 feet set, Eco memo, landing, no blue. There's Vesuvius, I think. Quick look before I disconnect the autopilot. Try and get a nice viewpoint angle for our landing then. Okay guys, I'm going to stop talking. 1,000 feet, and I'm going to turn up the volume.
$500. 100 above. Minimum. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now arrived at our destination. The crew will now commence preparing the aircraft for deboarding. Can passengers please remain in your seats with your seat belts fastened until the captain turns off the seat belt signs. You may now turn on your phones and electronic devices. Thank you for choosing to fly with us today, and please consider becoming a channel member to receive extra benefits on your future flights with us. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
So let me just continue a bit further. I don't think I'll pass the stop line at the minute. So as we briefed, it's one way here, so I believe there we go. We should be past the stop line there, just where we've come off. Was that Bravo Charlie? I was hoping this was, would have been upgraded ever so slightly, but I don't think it has. Sadly. Never mind. Let's go ahead and park up. So yeah, sadly the airport's not been updated too much. I was really hoping this was going to be one of the airports that they handcrafted for the update. Good night, HD. And I know sometimes if they don't update them fully, what they do is they at least put some taxi markings. But sadly, they've not done that either. So don't want to go too fast just while I'm sorting the aircraft out. There we go. Right, shall we find somewhere to park? Okie you've been a captain member for the last 15 months. Okay, that's amazing. Thank you so much for your kind support during that time. Really glad that you're happy by the Fenix as well. Dark Fury, yeah, there's no freeway or payware for this airport. It's such a shame because it's an amazing airport to fly into, isn't it? It's awesome. Definitely needs some TLC. We're just going to go and throw this in here. Oh, I'm parking next to the Ryanair. Someone's got to. Oh, well, thank you so much, guys. If you're on your way out, please do leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We will have more Fenix streams coming up. I can absolutely promise you that. Right, so APU up and running it is. We need the APU bleed air on. Let's shut down engine 1, shut down engine 2. Seatbelt signs can come off. And when the N1 drops below 10, get the beacon light off, let the ground crew know it's safe for them to approach the aircraft. There we go. That can now come off. Fuel pumps off as well. And we will also turn the transponder to standby, squawk 2000, standby code. We'll come over to our EFB, commence deboarding, yep. Call the ground crew up. GPU's connected, chocks and cones are now there. Let's connect the external power. I saw someone yesterday mention, just as we were leaving, that I could shut the APU down now because the GPU was connected. Well, yes, in the pre-COVID days, that was right. But now, because of COVID, whenever you've got passengers on the aircraft, you have to have the APU bleed on to get air into the cabin. So even though the GPU is connected and powering the aircraft, you still need the APU on. And they also tend to open a lot of the doors as well, just to keep air moving through the cabin. But there she is, next to the Ryanair. Really wish we had some scenery for this airport. I think that's the only thing that lets it down. Looking forward to seeing Italy in all its glory in the daytime at some point, since we've had the update. So that would be really nice as well. Oh, bandwidth too low to properly stream photographic data. Well, I'm guessing we'll ignore that. The amount of people that are probably flying around Italy following the world update is probably quite high, so that's most likely the reason for that. Right, guys, thank you so much. We obviously haven't done with the Fenix. We will. I'm hoping to be back tomorrow, time permitting. I don't know what time the stream will be for that, but make sure you turn on the notifications bell if you're a subscriber to the channel so you don't miss it. Also, make sure you get in our Discord server as well for information on upcoming streams as we announce them. Thank you so much to those of you who donated and contributed this evening. Really do appreciate that. To the EasyJet Sim Pilot channel members as well for your continued support. It's been amazing over these last couple of days. Couldn't have done yesterday without you guys. It was awesome to have you all along for the ride. Thank you so much. I look forward to chatting with you all on Discord. And remember, of course, if you do have any questions regarding the Fenix, the NDA is now lifted, so I am able to talk about it, which is great after all this time of not being able to mention it. Have a great evening, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow. Good night, guys.